this framework has three layers. Means the first part is the crispy layer where you put up your opinion. You come up with solid
Mm-hmm.
information. Then it has creamy layer. Creamy layer is basically nothing but reason and examples to solidify,
Okay.
to persuade or convince people,
Sure.
to entice them. Then the third one is the again solid layer, which is the crispy part. That is how you're supposed to persuade.
Hi, Fairs. Good evening. How are you?
I'm pretty fine, Ashutosh, and I'm pleased to be with you today. And it was my pleasure after a long while we are connecting today. How have you been?
Yeah, I have been fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And I'm so happy just you joined me today. Okay, so today we are going to discuss very important two questions. So I'll be starting with the first question. I would ask these questions to you. So are you ready?
Yes, I had been waiting to connect you today to answer all of the questions so that let's see what you have stored for me today.
Okay, so moving on with the conversation. So the first question goes to you, Faiz, that how to learn effective communication skills. What is your take on this?
Right. So, as the question is concerned, that how to learn effective communication skills. See, I've seen people who often get hesitant while making conversation, while giving a public speech, or while talking about any such topic. Even though they are good at English, but they don't know how to talk about the topic. So it can have two scenarios. First, either they don't know about the topic, or they know, but they don't know how to put in right sequence. So you
Right.
must be aware of people who know lot many things about a topic, but when it comes to speaking about the topic, they get hesitant, they get anxious, or they derail from the topic, or they go off topic. You know why it happens? Because they
Right.
don't have the structure or they don't have the right order of presenting the information. Therefore,
Mm-hmm.
I was reading an article someday and I happened to see a very interesting framework which is called Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not the Oreo cookie. Oreo stands for opinion, reason, example, opinion again. So, what does it state? It basically states that first, when you are hopping in any topic, first provide all the
Mm-hmm.
opinion that you have in bullet points. All right.
Okay.
Then give reasons. You have to come up with
Mm-hmm.
certain reasons to solidify your opinion. Then give
Mm-hmm.
examples to persuade people to convince them. Then repeat, give
Right.
the opinion again to basically conclude. You have to boil down all the stands at once. So this is what Oreo says. So I want to add one thing here, as we all have seen Oreo cookie, right? How it is. It has three
Yes.
layers. First, the crust part means the
Mm-hmm.
crispy layer, then the creamy layer, then the crispy layer again. Likewise, this framework has three layers. Means the first part is the crispy layer where you put up your opinion. You come up with solid
Mm-hmm.
information. Then it has creamy layer. Creamy layer is basically nothing but reason and examples to solidify,
Okay.
to persuade or convince people,
Sure.
to entice them. Then the third one is the again solid layer, which is the crispy part. That is how you're supposed to persuade. To make it more clear, if you ask me a question that what you think about having a dress code in a school, so I would present the
Mm-hmm.
information or I would talk about this topic in this manner. In my opinion, having a dress code in a school is so essential. This is my opinion.
Yes.
Reason why it is so? Because having a dress code creates sense of discipline in the school and people don't feel or students don't feel left out from the crowd. Example, when I was in school, I used to study in a school which has a strict dress code, strict rule. Therefore, that school was known as one of the finest school of my society. Studying in that school, I got to realize that it was recognized as one of the finest school because of its strict discipline and dress code. Then give the conclusion. Therefore, I believe it is so essential for us to have a dress code in school. That is how you may tackle any topic. Present information in right sequence so that you can deal with any information or any topic in a right or structured fashion. So it has certain drawbacks as well. But before going on
Mm-hmm.
drawbacks, if you have something to add on, you can.
Thank you. What a wonderful way of explaining things. Of course, it is completely new to me, this Oreo thing, and I would love to inculcate in my spoken English. Maybe I have been doing it, but I was not aware of this particular example. And the way you explained that is wonderful. It would be very helpful for people who are not aware of answering questions. And of course, I come across a lot of students and they don't have idea that how to structure their answer. So that is going to just help them to understand how to structure answer and how to give examples and add stories in it, and at the last you can conclude as well. So thank you, that's what I have to say. Yes, now you can proceed.
Right. So it has certain drawback. The drawback is that it can't
Hmm.
be used in all the settings. Suppose you are in a public conversation, you are on stage and you are given a topic and you have to lean towards only one argument or one idea. There you may use this
Hmm.
argument or this formula, that is Oreo, because you have to lean towards one idea. You have to be a bit biased about it. You first
Hmm.
scrutinize a topic and then take a side and then keep talking about it. Whether you have to write an essay or you have to give a public speech or you have to, let's say, make a conversation on any topic. So this Oreo framework would help you or it would be conducive to all. Now, what are the
Hmm.
drawbacks of it? As I said, that it won't be helpful if you have to give a holistic viewpoint of a topic. To give a
Right.
holistic viewpoint of the topic, you're supposed to use another framework which is called PADS. Now, you might be wondering what PAD is. PADS is nothing but
Hmm.
it stands for points, advantage, disadvantage, summary. So, see, these
Hmm.
are the basically frameworks made to make the things easier. If you go in a flow that you might not be able to structure your thoughts, but knowing all these frameworks, you'll be able to organize your thoughts in the right frame. So P, as I said, P stands for points. So you have to come up with some points. Then you have to come up with
Hmm.
advantages. You have to talk about the advantage of the points that you mentioned. Then talk about disadvantage of the points that you mentioned. Then talk about summary. You have to deduce what you have, whatever stance you have given about a topic. So this is called PADS framework, which will also be helpful for you when you are giving, let's say, public speech or you are talking about a topic or making a conversation. And PADS framework is for people who want to talk about both the sides of an argument. As we know, the fact that every coin has two sides.
Right.
PADS would be helpful for you when you want to talk about both the side. And Oreo would be helpful for the persons who want to talk about or want to lean towards one argument of the topic. So that's the focal difference between both the frameworks, and you may use according to the situation. Yes, so that is
Yeah,
what it
that's
called.
great, I got
And
it.
one point that I want to add here, for people who often ask me, or maybe people who often ask you that what's the need of learning effective communication. So I read a quote which goes like this: World doesn't respect those who have great ideas. It respects those who know how to communicate their ideas. Therefore, it's essential for us to learn communication effectively.
Yeah, rightly mentioned. I would say exactly. It's very important for you to express your ideas in right way, because I have seen a lot of people with a great knowledge, but they are not able to express themselves. That's why they are not valued. And the way you told me the difference between Oreo and Pats, that's wonderful, mind blowing for me. I've got an idea that how I can do that in future. So thank you for doing it. So moving on with the conversation, and the second question of the conversation is that what is communication and how is it different from language?
Hmm. So here, as the conversation or the channel is all about English, so people often get confused between English and communication. See, it is one of the
Right.
most asked questions, right? Even people would be asking the same question to you too. I often see people asking me this question. So I answer them in a by giving an example. You know, back in the time when human beings were cavemen, not we were cavemen, means human being were cavemen. So we used to carve on rocks, right? We used to carve on rocks. We
Yes.
used to use signals, gesture, posture, facial expressions to communicate, right? So these are the
Exactly.
processes. These are basically the parts of communication. So communication is
Mhm.
nothing but a process, right? And language is merely a part of communication, just like any other parts. like hand gesture, posture, facial expressions, and all. And language came in existence way later than communication. Communication
Hmm.
has been an integral part of human existence, and communication came
Right.
way later. But back in the time when there was no language, when language was non existent, we still knew how to communicate. You know how? We used to communicate through carving on rocks. And you would have seen people, or you would have seen on television that inscription was found somewhere, or rock carving, and something has been found
Yes.
somewhere. So it was all the instances, these all are the example how ancient people communicate. So this is the basic difference between communication and language. Language came way later than communication, and language is merely a part of communication, just like any other part. Language is a verbal format of communication.
Yeah, so it means the conclusion is that communication is a wider concept and the language is
Hmm.
the part of it. So yes,
Right.
some people get confused. They think like speaking English means they are good communicator, but that's not right. Maybe there are many
Hmm.
speakers in UK, US, Australia. Everyone speaks English there, but it does not mean that everybody is a good communicator. Like in India, we speak Hindi. It does not mean that everybody is just a good communicator of Hindi. Many uneducated people, or everyone speaks Hindi here, but only some of them are able to express their ideas in Hindi as well. So it means even though you are a good speaker of the language, it does not mean that you are a great communicator. You need to work really hard. Even though I see native speakers of English, they come on many platforms to improve their communication skills. They speak English, but it does not mean they know how to communicate with others, how to convey their idea, how to convince someone. So all these things come under the communication skills, and they have to work really hard to learn all those things, right?
Very true. Very true. Rightly said. So, just a minor detail I want to add here. That is,
Hmm.
language is the verbal format, as I said previously. And there is a
Hmm.
non-verbal format as well, which I added, that is body language and all stuffs. And verbal format is again the language. Language is the verbal format. The minute we know how to verbalize our thoughts, that means we are good at the language. It could be any language, whether it's Hindi, English, or any other language. That means we are good at the very language. But it does not mean you are good at non-verbal skills, non-verbal communication. That is why we differentiate verbal skills and non-verbal skills. When you are good at language,
Right.
it means you are good at the verbal skills. Even verbal skills has certain parts like tone, pitch, intonation, inflection of voice. These all are the part of verbal skills. So language is the essential part of the verbal skills, but it also has sub parts.
Hmm. Exactly. Right. You are absolutely right. There are many parts of the verbal skills as well. And sometimes many people miss non-verbal skills. As I see many people come and they talk on video for the first time, means maybe they are good speakers, even though I talk to some native speakers, they are very good with the language because they are native speaker of in that language, but they are not good, very good with the non-verbal communication skills. They don't have idea that how to face camera, how to express, how to just put a smile on your face while speaking to someone. So all these things are really important. That's what I have learned throughout my
Yeah.
journey. Yes, thank you so much for letting me know and giving this wonderful knowledge which is going to help
Yeah.
everyone who's looking forward to become a good communicator in their journey.
Mm. And lastly, I want to add something here. If you're not getting late, so I want to ask you something more, which is while we were making conversation once, you talked about the journey of your communication skills. You went on this platform called Toastmaster and gave a public speech. So if you want to let people know about your journey of public speaking, you can. But before that, first let people know what is Toastmaster.
Sure, it's a very nice question. So Toastmasters is a public speaking forum where you can go to big cities. Maybe I can say Lucknow, Kanpur. Just if you are in different states, maybe you can go to Delhi, Dehradun, big cities. You can look for it. If you will search on Google Toastmasters near me, you'll get locations where they are having Toastmasters, and there you can join. Okay, some are like corporate Toastmasters, may particular for the company employees, and some are general public kind of thing when you go and everyone joins you there. So that's why I
Mm,
joined. I wanted to see how it works, and to be honest, I was good a speaker. I was able to speak with the people, but when I went there, I was really afraid to be in front of the people and how to express. I was just, I was not, I was folding my just, hands, and I was not opening my arms. So they taught me everything, that you have to cover the whole stage. It is not like you are standing in the corner of the stage and the people are looking at you. So you have to use the whole stage of, and in your body as well. Open your hands, use your arms like that, and try to just, use your hands to give examples also, that one person is here, one person is here, and one person is here. So this is red, blue, and just green, like that. So in this way you have to use your body a lot. But when we are doing online, we don't have to use our body. Just only I'm sitting. Maybe a smile is the one, just, perfect weapon which you can use, or you can give a smile, or you can look confident while speaking. But there means, like, I was really afraid that how can I move my legs, how to should I
mm,
use my hands. They taught me all those things. So this is very important. But yes, once, twice, and every single time, it does not mean they invited me only once in a day. You get maybe 2 or 3 times, because you get roles
right.
also. There are some roles. Some people, like, one can become grammarian, one can become evaluator. So their goal is to invite you on a stage as much as they can. And from impromptu speech also, they will give you a topic instantly, and you have to speak on it for 2 minutes. So you can think on your feet, and you can give answer as much as you can. Just a well answer there. It is not all about like you have to give a wonderful answer, but whatever you know at the same time, just instantly you have to answer it, and you have to give a well speech there. So that's what the
Mm,
goal was, to go on a stage. And I felt after 6 months also, I was not pretty comfortable going, even though people were only 10, 15, or 20, not more than that. Then also going in front of people is far, far difficult than speaking in front of camera by sitting on a chair. It's quite easy task, that I'm sitting on my chair and I'm just talking to you and nodding my head that, yeah, okay, it's very nice. But when you go there, it becomes very difficult. And sometimes your hands are not going in a right way, even though you are doing it, but it does not mean the
mm,
person is perceiving you in the same way like you are trying to do. So when you watch your
yes.
own videos, then you understand, oh man, I was just going at the right side a lot, which was not recommended. And that's why they have evaluators as well, particular evaluators for their speeches, that if I gave a speech, there would be a one person to evaluate my speech, to give me feedback. They follow CRC approach, that commendation, recommendation, and then commendation as well. So that's how it is. First they are going to tell you, they will not demoralize, just you'll give you a lot of negative things. They will give the positive feedback, at the same time they will give you some corrections as well. So that's how it
Mm,
works. And I liked it and I learned it. I went there to learn. So maybe if you guys are looking for it, for sure, search Toastmasters near me and you will get an idea. Or you can go there as a guest also. You don't have to join from the first day. You can go there and see as a guest and you can enjoy. And after that, if you feel like joining, you can join there.
right. You said it right when you say that when it comes to real life conversation, it's pretty difficult. I experienced it myself when I went to give a public speech. I was frozen. I was
Mhm.
shivering, trembling so hard. So when it comes to making conversation, it's comparatively easier because there is a person sitting in front of you. You have to look at him, make conversation. That's it. But when you are on a stage and hundreds of people, or let's say 10 people are sitting in front of you, it's literally quite difficult to face them because making an eye contact is again a challenge. Um it's also annoying when people are staring at you. So what I do is that I look at their forehead to avoid their eye contact. I do not prefer to make an eye contact. So this is one of the things that I noticed, and I have not given many public speeches yet as you, because you live in a city. Since you live in a city, you've gotten many chance to give public speeches. But I have not gotten such opportunities to give more speeches. But yes, obviously in my college and school time, I've given number of speeches and I've improved a little bit of my public speaking skills. So that is how I flourished the speaking skills and non-verbal parts as well. But still, there is a room for improvement and I'm working on it. I'm not so genius at this. I'm not master at this. I never claim to be infallible. But yeah, whatever little I know, I try to impart and try to improvise my skills too.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever you said, that is right. That maintaining eye contact is very difficult. When I went to an offline institute, to there as a trainee or trainer, whatever you can say. So he just, the main director told me that you are okay with your verbal skills, you are able to speak good English, but you are not maintaining eye contact. When you are a trainer there, you have to look at every single student, and you do not have to stand at one place if you are a trainer. A spoken English trainer mainly. Just if your class is long, you should be walking and is speaking in front of every single bench or the student. So that's what he taught
Yeah.
me, that you are just stiff and is speaking. Maybe your speech is good, but at the same time, you're missing the eye contact. If you're not able to
Mm.
face people, try to look at this point. They told me, like, around the nose or the just, between the eyebrows. So that's how you
Mm.
can do it. And second thing about the Toastmasters, which I learned, that you get many roles. So you learned like a lot, just how you can give corrections to others, and same point of time you learn how to make speeches also. It does not mean conversation means like a normal answer, right? If you are asking me something, I can give an answer. But a speech is speech has a different format which you have to work on. You have to do research, and then you have to make a good speech on it, right? How you are going to explain it.
Mm.
So, and of course, kind of anchoring thing is also there, that one guy would be
Mm.
there all the time standing there. So he would be inviting people, that now this I invite to the grammarian on the stage and please give your points and like that. So all kind of rules we get there to become better with this stage speaking mainly. Mainly we come out from that stage fear. And that is a very nice platform if you want to come out from the stage fear. And if you join in a very good city like Lucknow also, Lucknow has a very nice Toastmasters. Few of the participants, they came from Lucknow to train us, to
Mm.
help us to become better. So that's how it is. If somebody lives in Lucknow and Delhi and the big cities, they have the great opportunities to join Toastmasters, and that can help them to become a better public speaker or stage speaker. So if somebody wants to
Right.
speak from the stage, it is going to help them a lot.
For sure. The reason I asked you about Toastmasters is because people might ask me that how to utilize, how to make the use of these frameworks, Oreo, PATS, and there are certain other frameworks. We'll talk about it later in upcoming videos.
Mhm.
So, what's the use
Sure.
of them? So, you're supposed to use them while making public, while giving public speeches, while delivering a constructive conversation, while you are in a discourse, debate, or let's say making in general conversation. You're supposed to use these frameworks. And as I added these all points, what are the use cases? The use cases are that it helps you to organize your thoughts in right frame. If you do not speak with the help of these frameworks, you would be able to speak. Your brain will be bombarded with information, but it won't be in a right sequence. You'll derail from the topic, you'll go off topic, or you'll slip from the main objective of your speech. So, this is why these frameworks help us to stick with the point and keep on speaking. And this is basically the frameworks that I've talked about are used by all time great speakers like Obama. And there are many such great speakers. Even if you want more references, you can search Oreo public speaking framework. You'll get to find it. I'll also stick some of the templates here so that you can take a look on it.
Yeah, exactly. You are absolutely right. Because otherwise, we lack coherence. And coherence is very important for this speech. That maybe you would be giving, sometimes we come across the movies, maybe they have invested a lot of money, but that lacks coherence. They don't have the
Hmm.
connectivity from one scene to another. And then we feel like, what is this? So we need that linking point. Just that is very important. How you are linking from one point to another, how you're moving from
Correct.
one to another. It is not like I just mentioned in the previous videos as well. Thus, you said that Donald Trump is the president of America, and directly you started talking about like his childhood. No, if you're starting talk about his childhood, that he was born in America, he studied there, then he just chose a political career, he became a businessman. So you have to just have a sequence to talk about anything in this world. Oh, but many people don't do it. Many people, of course, the people who don't have idea or they are not observing speakers. So often they make these mistakes.
Right, rightly said. Yes, so on this note, if you have something else to ask, you may. Otherwise, we will wrap up the session and probably will shoot such videos in the upcoming days as well. Though we have a plan to make more such informative videos, but we're not sure how long we'll be able to do it. Therefore, we're not announcing any series or something.
Yeah, sure. But of course, we will try best to make more and more content for the people based on some good questions. Now, I don't want to do a lot of general, I think, conversations. I am just fed up with that. So I want to do more content which is going to help people in particular areas. And yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it for today. And at last, I would request people to join my Telegram community. I would be putting the link in the description below, so don't forget. And after joining, if you have any question, you can write in the just Telegram group. Either you can write in the comments. So I would be picking that question, and we would be making videos on that. Sure.
Yes, people can let you know what are the sorts of questions or doubt they have, so that we'll surely make a video on it.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, thank you so much. Many, many thanks to you, Faiz. It was really nice discussing with you on important questions. So, thank you for your precious time and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, you too, man. Thank you for having me here.